What exactly is the Beetlejuice Underworld? One of the most interesting elements of the Beetlejuice universe is the Underworld, a place where lost souls end up trying to cross over to the afterlife or simply come back to life. But what mysteries lie behind this strange place? Why do they have to take a number? Why are there worms, and why does time seem to happen differently? In this video, we'll be looking at the Beetlejuice Underworld and its origin, and how this could affect the upcoming film. And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the Oasis Geek. To understand Beetlejuice's underworld, we must first go back to Beetlejuice's past when he was still human. A mystery that was revealed in the second movie. Beetlejuice lived during the Middle Ages, roughly between the years 1300 and 1350. A time marked by the bubonic plague. In the midst of the devastation and chaos, Beetlejuice was engaged in grave robbing, taking advantage of the situation for his own benefit. His apparent immunity to the plague allowed him to survive in an environment where death was the order of the day. Beetlejuice was a thief, and the worst kind of person you could meet on the street. But during this period, Beetlejuice met Dolores, a witch who practiced dark rituals in graveyards. United by common interests in the macabre and esoteric, their connection was immediate, and they decided to get married. However, something happened on their wedding night. Dolores tried to poison her husband, and before the poison could take effect in the thief's body, he took his wife's life, separating her into different parts. Something interesting about the underworld is that the wounds you suffer at the moment of losing your life are usually kept in the underworld. This allows for an almost infinite diversity of characters, as some have supernatural powers. But others suffered so much when they lost their lives that they are barely functional in the underworld. But Beetlejuice's appearance is not just that of a person who was poisoned. Perhaps something happened after he ended Dolores' life. Whatever the reason, I suspect that Beetlejuice was with Dolores because, like her, he wished to cheat death or use dark magic. I don't think it's coincidental that Beetlejuice and Dolores met in a graveyard. And I don't think it's coincidental that this character is called a bioexorcist. It is very likely that when Beetlejuice was human, he tried to use magic to extend his life. And perhaps this is one of the reasons why he ended up becoming a sort of demon. Beetlejuice, unlike other humans who lost their lives and are trapped in the underworld, can return to reality when his name is mentioned 3 times. The mere fact that Beetlejuice can do this means that his magical powers go beyond the underworld. It possibly connects to his marriage to Dolores, although this theme was not explored in depth in the film. What is clear is that Beetlejuice has several ways to return to the real world, and has been trying for a long time. But then, what is this place? The underworld is a parallel dimension, a distorted mirror of our world, where the bizarre is the norm and the impossible is every day. It is not simply the afterlife, or a simplified version of hell or heaven, but a place with its own rules. Perhaps one of the strangest features of the underworld is that despite how illogical it seems, it has politicians, accountants, detectives, and other agencies that make up a type of government in charge of maintaining order among the souls that arrive there. When Beetlejuice lost his life, he probably found himself in the waiting room without understanding what was going on, and has spent more than 800 years waiting his turn. On the other hand, even though Beetlejuice has been imprisoned in this prison for so long, we know that ghosts in this universe can interact in the real world if summoned. In addition, there are laws prohibiting certain actions, such as the misuse of supernatural abilities, which has brought Beetlejuice into constant conflict with the authorities of the underworld. The manual for the recently deceased is the guide given to new souls. Although its usefulness is questionable due to its complexity and cryptic language, ghosts also have a limited number of times they can contact their afterlife social worker, increasing the level of frustration over their situation. Personally, I don't think this underworld is hell, although it is certainly scary. It seems more like a waiting place, created for those souls who are not ready to move on, souls who still have hope of returning to the real world. But then, what is the real purpose of the underworld? I believe that in the beginning, the underworld was designed as a bridge, a limbo for souls who were not ready to continue their journey. However, over time, so many souls accumulated that they ended up creating their own universe. It is unknown for sure how big the underworld is now, or how many souls inhabit it, but it could be much vaster than we imagine. The places in the underworld are as diverse as they are strange. We have everything from Dante's Inferno room, a nightclub for restless spirits, to deserts inhabited by giant sandworms. We also see Beetlejuice manifest in a miniature city, which we may explore further in the future. I feel this city has a magical connection, possibly being one of Beetlejuice's key escape strategies. The underworld has potential for a movie or series of its own, as it is not limited to conventional rules. Characters like the detective have shown that stories can be developed in this underworld. Personally, it is one of my favorite elements of this universe, and I hope it continues to expand in the upcoming films. Now, why do souls have to take a number when they arrive in the underworld? It's a clear mockery of the bureaucracy of our daily lives. We've all had to go through government offices, full of paperwork and processes that seem to make no sense. The film reflects this in an ironic way, showing that even in the underworld there are long lines and extremely slow employees, which has caused a wait of hundreds or thousands of years. The curious thing is that the employees of the underworld seem to be people who in life unalive themselves, which is reflected in the marks visible on their bodies. This condition could explain why they have no interest in doing their job efficiently. They are trapped in what seems to be the worst possible fate, an eternal job, attending to souls with no escape. The endless line is a direct result of this apathy. Unlike Beetlejuice, who longs to return to real life, these employees have no desire to be anywhere, which highlights the film's dark humor. Now, how will this affect the Beetlejuice universe? At the moment, it has been mentioned that Beetlejuice 2 would be the last movie starring this iconic bio-exorcist. But something curious is that it is not called Beetlejuice 2, but Beetlejuice. This title is already a sign that the film is playing with our expectations, because the number 3 has always been associated with the character. If we follow this logic, it is very likely that a third installment would bear the name Beetlejuice. And this is where things would get really interesting. This third film could be the point at which Beetlejuice finally returns to the real world, managing to escape the underworld, a place that has been both his prison and his domain. But there's another intriguing possibility, that instead of simply escaping, Beetlejuice is key to saving the underworld from a greater threat. I think the story of this universe is just getting started, and Beetlejuice could go from being a selfish demon who is looking for a way to escape, to becoming a hero. But tell me, what do you think of all this? What do you think of the underworld? Would you like to see a third Beetlejuice movie? Share your opinion in the comments. And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You are on Oasis Geek.